friends, welcome back to the channel. It is officially our first build for the A Hero's Journey Hercules update, and I'm coming to you with an epic build fit for the gods. We are making a legendary arena in the statue's shadow of Mythopia, with it using many new items from the Godly Glamour Star Path and some new items from the premium shop as well. This design is actually somewhat of an updated version of my old build that was in the statue's shadow, so I was very glad to update it with all of the new items and a year-old improvement in decorating. The new building kits in the Star Path and premium shop look amazing and are sure to make Mythopia look good as people start to fill up their Mythopia biomes with these new items. If you would like to see how this one turns out in the end, then definitely keep on watching. I'm going to start off by showing you just the item list first. I listened to people's suggestions and I think it is very helpful moving forward to just show the items in the very beginning and then reference them gradually throughout the video. I am also showing you what foliage gets used, and we do actually have a couple new ones from this update. We'll start with making the actual arena using the golden gates of Olympus as two different entryways into the stadium before using the ancient stadium kit pieces to create the arena. This was actually quite a large stadium that I made, especially for the space that we had, and the statue's shadow specifically has a very strange shape. As we build it, notice that there are two gaps on the sides for secondary entryways, and it isn't aligned perfectly with the stairs leading up to the fiery plains, but that's because of some spacing issues that I encountered before. I think having those Olympus gates makes it feel a little more grand, especially as you walk through the open ones. The outer walls of the stadium pieces were looking a little too bare, so as a solution I'm using a bunch of ancient stadium walls to line the perimeter. I even rotate the wall pieces for the curves, and don't worry about it looking seamless. The arch of this piece actually brings in some more detail into the stadium itself. I also used the gold and marble pillars to almost hide those tiny gaps between the wall pieces, but this will be swapped out later with trees in the future. If you get the shape right with the stadium, you should be able to use the stadium walkway pieces to perfectly wrap around the inside of the stadium. And once you've made that, I make a secondary layer on the inside with some gold and opal bordered pathing, making the edges not too thick but also not too thin. Then the inside of that is the actual arena floor, and I start off with the sun-baked dirt path, but this will also change as well. Feel free to keep it as dirt or even sand from the Tatooine decor. Mine will eventually become the Main Street pathing. We are going to pivot really quickly to a Touch of Magic tutorial, so there are two Touch of Magic tutorials in this build today. This is a different water rug than you might be used to seeing, but I did not want to use the Neverland River kit, and I also wanted a brighter colored water for this build specifically. Using a light blue colored base underneath, I layer these water wave motifs to cover the entire rug, and then I'm going in with some light blue gradient squares to lighten around the edges. some ways down the stadium we will be making a rectangular water feature using these rugs, and I do add a few of these briefly to connect to the stadium, and that is just to show you spacing wise how far apart it is. But it is 8 rugs total, and you are going to then enclose it with some marble fencing. Around this water feature I also put some more cypress trees, and then in between the trees I'm actually going to create some floral detail using the new items here. This marble muse statue is actually from the Hercules friendship quests, and the central pillars are from Scrooge's store, and the golden plants I believe are from the Star Path. Now y'all, this was my first time actually using the presets that came with this update, and it really came in clutch, so I went ahead and made a preset and then repeated that pattern throughout the water feature. We're actually going to double layer with the marble fencing, so again wrap around the water and also what we just worked on. This is our last time pivoting. We are going to be making our main walkway road with Touch of Magic. Choose the marble texture and then just change the last color of that to that tan one at the very bottom. I used this motif and I don't remember how I got it specifically, but I do know that it is Hercules themed, and you're going to want to click on the buttons with the multiple dots to multiply it. This will allow you to make it a continuous line rather than just a singular motif. I do this twice to line the motif around the sides of the rug, and you will notice that there are also some in the center as well. To hide the center one, simply take a square and cover up those motifs by pressing the scissor button to essentially erase it. It's just taking the texture underneath it and it's covering up the motifs with that texture. I will be opening my boutique sometime after this video is uploaded and several times after as well, so stick around to see some future boutique openings, and you can find those underneath my YouTube posts on the channel. This part was a little bit of a puzzle, just figuring out how to lay it all together, but I eventually find a layout that I am happy with, going up the sides of the water feature and then further back the biome. I'm going to border the rug with actual pathing, and for now I'm just using the main street path so that I can see more clearly, but the path that I eventually use will be the gold and opal path. If you don't want to use the rug or even make it, a perfect substitute is this Greek mosaic rug that you can craft from Storybook Bale. It'll match perfectly, and it is the same size as a standard Touch of Magic rug, so this is the perfect option if you don't want to make that rug yourself. And I'm just showing you how it looks all together once I replace the pathing with the gold and opal borders. I changed the center of the stadium to the main street pathing, and we are going to be making a few minor tweaks to the entrances. So I'm actually going to be using the Gilded Agora Pavilion, which is a premium shop item, and these surprisingly allow the Olympus gates to go directly underneath it, so I stacked those two together. And you will also see me rotate the Olympus gates here, but I do forget to show you later on that whatever orientation I land on, it's going to be the reverse at the very end. You will notice that later during the walkthrough. I'm using 3 of the luxury Pegasus fountains and also some Rock Show Star Path fountains, really just tying it together as this regal feature. This was hard to deal with the shape of the biome, but we will be fencing off the outer parts of the walkway. Now here I do use the elegant stone fence, and if you don't have it, then feel free to continue using that marble fencing that we've been using. I combine it with some of the new cypress trees, and only the left side will have the Greek hero and warrior columns. I also use some more gilded agora sections just to create a symmetrical freestanding structure to break up the build height-wise. Adding in more of these red tones as well will also tie it into the pavilion entrance that we just put. I add some candle lights here and there, just using the atrium candles from Storybook Vale and the Hercules trophy pedestals. Throughout the build, you will see me create little areas, mostly because I just wanted to fill up as much space in the biome as possible. I was clearly very excited for this update, and I used these small micro builds as an excuse to play with the new items. So using more walkway pieces and also this fountain, which is actually not new, this came with Storybook Vale. Of course, we'll fancy it up with some Mythopia bushes and these glowing clouds before topping it off with a bench. We'll create something similar on another empty spot, however this one I will say will transform completely by the end of the video. This is actually where I end up putting my teleport well. Those pillars I used around the stadium, I actually delete them and replace it with the dark green cypress trees. I think it just adds back some more contrast and it looks more balanced overall. I'll also extend some more of that Main Street pathing outside of the stadium, hugging it as I essentially wrap around the shape of the arena. Back corner here, I'm creating a sort of Hercules area. This is the Rhodes feet statue, which actually I don't think I put that in the item list now that I'm looking at it, but it is a Star Path item and it's quite big. I make the little area with the water rug and I put the Hercules statue and some decorative pillars. I had left this area empty on the top and bottom ends of the water feature, so I used the gem and opal pathing to sort of match the other gold and opal pathing, but I did not want them to merge. So again, there are 2 different paths. This is simply just a sundial, bushes, and a bench with some candlelight. And again, I used the preset feature, so just copy that over to the bottom of the water feature. I'm also going to just extend some of that pathing and the fences and also clean them up a bit. this random corner in the bottom of the build as well, so I just put a bunch of harps, making a little musical corner, which I think is subtle but also adds to the Greek vibes. I fill in that gap in front of the stadium with some more Main Street pathing, and I start to fill up some of the empty gaps that I see. Along the right side, I mirror the cypress trees and I use these ancient stadium entries to create a walkway leading to the Hercules statue area. I also put these enchanted castle oil lamps, and I think these are from the Beauty and the Beast collection. There's this corner as well, and again I'm just kind of going ham, leaving no corner untouched in this build, so I use some stadium walls and this chariot lift, which is also craftable in Storybook Vale. I'm going to add some of the large new trees that we got this update, putting them in a few spots along the perimeter of the biome before decorating the inside of the stadium a bit. I crafted these Grecian workout benches, and then I just used an assortment of training items from Mulan and other collections. Here is what I mentioned earlier. I'm just adjusting that decorative corner that we made to fit in this well skin, and this well skin is actually from the Cherry Blossom Dream Castle bundle, but even the normal well skin will match this build perfectly. finishing touch, I just used some plumeria paths, but I'm not gonna go too crazy with this at all, just filling in some sparse areas in only a few places. But once you have done this, you will have your very own legendary stadium in the statue's shadow. Thank you so much for watching the speed build and walkthrough. I think I went a bit above and beyond for it just being my first build for this update, but I have so many more ideas for future videos and I want to use more of these items to create a garden build and maybe even some temples around Mythopia. But I hope you enjoyed this build and it gives you a taste for what's to come. You can expect all of my future Mythopia builds to match this in opulence and in detail, as I think it's really easy to achieve that look with all of these new items. I hope this gives you some inspiration for all of the new items, and I can't wait to show you what I'm cooking up next. If you liked the video, be sure to like, subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye!